Republic Capital Access. Today, we're joined by Allison Beinecke, founder of Nexutive. Allison, tell us real quick why we need to get smart on your industry IQ.
Well, because of all my years that I've worked with government contractors, they're really great innovators and great at selling their business, but their operations in the business need some work, and that's where I come in.
Thanks. So tell us, so you've been in govcon for many, many years. What was the real niche that you saw in working with small and emerging government contractors to, leave your position, been doing that for many years and starting Nexutive? What was it the businesses were missing in their operational side?
So my background was actually kind of on the financial end. So I worked at a private equity fund where we were kind of like the bank, and we would give money to a company to merge or acquire another company. Part of that was helping them not only do the due diligence prior to the buying, but also afterwards in the post-merger acquisition transition. And that was where I saw the issues fall, was in that transitional stage, because the CEO would be bogged down with the legal, with implementation of software, and they could really use some help where an operations person comes in, takes over, and the CEO can do what they did by buying the company, which is run both companies together.
That makes perfect sense, Allison. And that sounds like a no-brainer for small businesses to hire an on-demand COO. But what are typically the biggest reasons that companies may hesitate to hire an on-demand COO?
So I actually haven't gotten much pushback as of yet. However, no one's heard of it. So the biggest pushback I get is, what is an on-demand COO? And basically, as you know, everything now is virtual. Everything now can be at the drop of a hat. You need instantaneous help. An on-demand COO, it's simple. You hire it. You don't have to worry about onboarding. You don't have to worry about any HR. You can get rid of it whenever you want. And so I really, the pushback hasn't been much, but I would say some people want a full-time person. And I would say to them, that's great, but can you hire a full-time person and pay a full-time person with the experience and knowledge that you want? And the answer is typically no. But they can hire me part-time or on demand with the experience and knowledge that they want, and they can afford it.
So that just segues right into our last question. So, they don't have the means to hire a full-time person immediately, and then they grow and they kind of get to that point where it does make sense to have a full-time COO. What are the things that you're doing so that they can cleanly transition from the on-demand COO and then the infrastructure that you set up to transition to a full-time role and then bridge that gap completely?
Yeah, so there's kind of two options there, and we usually determine it on the onset of the relationship. One is if they find that I have completely, I've made it, they have enough money, they've grown enough, they want a full-time COO, I will stay on board, I will train the new COO and everything I've put in place, and I will help find the new COO for them. The other option is basically they might find that they're small, they're happy where they are, they kind of only need me on demand because I put everything kind of in place where it's running on autopilot and they don't need a full-time anyone. And then I just stay on board as necessary. They can retain me month to month. There's no kind of length that they have to have me. So those are the two ends that I've found. And right now, most of just keep me on month to month and keep things rolling along.
Awesome. Well, that's a great overview. Again, we had Allison Beinecke on from Nexutive. Nexutive is the first that we know of an on-demand COO services for government contractors. Very innovative. We like talking to interesting and innovative people here at RCA. And that's it for Matt Stavish and Isaac Ellsworth, another industry IQ in the books.